So speaking of tools, Vonna, what would be some other tools that you might recommend to somebody either with their personal budgeting or with their nonprofit budgeting?
That's so specific to the individual, right? So we'll talk about a few of them. But what I
Okay.
want people to understand is use what you're comfortable with. For some of you, it might simply be an Excel spreadsheet. Okay, that's fine. For some of you, it might be a personal finance package like Quicken or any of the online personal finance options and apps that are available. Organizationally, it's always best to start simple. A lot of smaller organizations are going to use QuickBooks, and there are some CPAs that have a heart attack about QuickBooks because it doesn't have some of the security features and everything else. But I'd rather have something that someone is going to use and use well than be afraid of or feel like it's too cumbersome or too difficult and not use it. So I just encourage you, find something that you're comfortable with and that you will use, because otherwise it's always something that gets put on the back burner, right? Like, I need to do that. I need to do that. And when you do that, the project goes from, frustrating or boring to just overwhelming. So I suggest start simple, get a win. Maybe that first step is, okay, I'm going to check with some others and see what they're using and what they like about it, what they don't like about it. And then I'm going to pick something that I'm going to use. Maybe that's just the first step. And then once you've done that, then learn how to use it. Because I don't know about you, but I have, in fact, it's sitting over here. I have this device, right? I use a fraction of what that device can do. And it's the same way often with the tools that we have for finances. We know how to do the one or two things that we want to do. But I just encourage people, understand whatever the tool is that you're using, understand how it can be used, because there may be other features in there that could be really beneficial to you that you're maybe even doing some other way simply because you didn't know it would do that. So get some wins, and then you'll pick up some momentum and it'll carry on.
Okay, so for the missionary who is, again, just getting started, because we're really kind of just talking to some of these basics right now, what are some of the non-negotiables as they're getting started setting up their budget? And we're talking to the missionary who just is like, I don't know, money comes in and then I end up spending it and I don't even know where it goes. And we're just kind of living month to month, hoping enough comes in each time. Where does someone like that begin in setting up maybe a simple budget?
The first thing I would encourage people is see what resources are available. If you're going through an agency, see what resources are available to you there. I recognize that on that spectrum, there's anything from an organization that simply receives your contributions and issues tax deductible receipts and sends you money, to the far other end of the spectrum where they'll do your tax return, they'll help you with your budget, they'll help you with your donations, and everything in between. Mm-hmm. But the first place I would start is with your agency to see what tools they have to help you, because they have sent hundreds or thousands of people before you. They've done this. It's the first time for you, but it's not the first time for them. So start there. Then if you are on your own, understand, get good information to understand what your costs are going to be. You can probably even start by looking at what are you paying, what are your expenses now? They're going to be different as far as the dollar amount, but you eat groceries here, you're going to eat groceries there. You have housing here, you're going to have housing there. You maybe won't have car insurance because you maybe won't have a car there, but what insurance do you need to have? So most of the things that you would have in a budget or that you're spending money on stateside, you're going to have an equivalent to that over there. So that's a good place to start. And then also working with others that are already on the field there, whether they're with your agency or somebody else, they've got a handle on just what the costs are, maybe any of the unusual items that you wouldn't have thought of, taxes that are unique to the country where you're going to be, unusual expenses related to education or travel or whatever. So utilize your network and the people around you.
Hey, missionary friends, we are so glad you joined us today. Make sure to subscribe to our channel so you'll be the first to know when a new episode drops. And click like and comment below. We love hearing what's resonating with you and what you'd like to hear more of.